What's up, guys? Just out in this bitch with my dog Sosa Savage, and we have a fantastic video for you today. We are going to be talking about advice that we would give to ourselves whenever we were younger. Because me and Sosa, we lived crazy lives. I've lived multiple lives in my life. I mean, they don't know, but hey. So, we are just going to be a little bit vulnerable with you guys and just, give you guys some gems. There's going to be some gems in there. I don't really know what's going to happen yet. This is basically freestyle. I know for a fact that just the experiences in my life, if you guys seen just one side of it, you guys will be able to change your life in some type of way. That's my goal anyway. So we'll get into that, but what song we're about to preview? The fucking Come and Go? So this is our song. We haven't even dropped this shit yet. You guys are the first people to be able to hear this fucking song. But yeah, it's called Tripped Up. Tripped up, I'm geeked up, I'm gone. I'm always here with my dog. Nigga, we came in with that hoe. And we got all of the bacon, and no, we not faking. You know that we shaking like we up in London, and I got it rumbling. Goddamn it rumbling, like I'm on Tinder. And I just whisper up in their ear, but I wanna kiss her, I gave her a blister. I'm up in the blizzard with all of this ice, like I'm in a refrigerator. Goddamn feel like a raider, but I'm not an Oakland up in LA. Fuck that shit, nigga, I'm about to fuck up on your head. What did you say? You cannot fuck with me, cause I am the top G. Give me seconds, you get loose. Off that Henny and that goon, I was serving on the block, we all sitting up at school. Guess it's all the same thing. I nigga came up with fuel. Alright. For the rest of that song, you're gonna have to either go to Sosa's page. What's your YouTube page?
Not before Sosa.
And what's your Instagram?
Not before Sosa.
You're gonna have to go there to get the snippets, or you're gonna have to go to Just Hang In. It's one S and two N's. Just Hang In, you'll figure this shit out. I'm also gonna have the links to both of us in the description. You're gonna have to go follow those channels to see more. This shit's popping. We're gonna be going on show. Anyway, everybody, this shit gets me so excited, dude. I fucking love music. But, Sosa, you've lived many lives, sir. What do you think you would tell yourself 2 years ago? We're not even gonna go for the whole life, because that's so deep. But just in the last 2 years, what would you tell yourself to get yourself to advance a lot quicker?
Put your money in the right places. For sure, 100%. I would definitely say that savings is a big thing that, I would say also know your budget. Not know your budget and your worth are two way different things. Your budget is momentarily. Your worth is something that's endless. Okay, like you heard what I just said?
Explain that a little bit. I think that's very deep, but I think you can explain it for these boys.
Your budget and your worth are two way different things. And motherfuckers will think if their budget is fucking $500 a month to play with, that's their worth. No, that is so indecently true. That is so indecently true. That is so reversed. Because you can be a man who's still working up in the ranks. Nobody starts at the top. Nobody starts. Okay, so for you to sit here and be hating on yourself and devaluing yourself based on your job, which is, getting by with what you can, and again, still striving to do better, still being ambitious, to devalue yourself just because you're not making as much as Jeff Bezos or, so-and-so who you look up to be right now, is crazy. Just because, again, we all start somewhere, and most of us don't even start at the goddamn middle of the pyramid. So you really do have to embrace the journey. Because at the same time, the people who did start in the middle would never get to embrace those side of the bottom, which is such an important thing Because again, like we're coming around full circle to say, some advice that you gave yourself 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I would.
Actually sit here and think deep about that. Like, if you had one piece of advice, not two, just one thing that you could tell yourself 2 years ago. You're how old right now?
I'm not gonna say my age. I ain't gonna say my age on camera just because of the fact that I don't want people to be discouraged by the things that I'm saying and try to put themselves into a certain type of box.
2 years ago.
So 2 years ago, I would tell myself to actually go ahead and focus on building in the current and also building in the future. Like 2 years ago, I was very future thinking, but I wasn't building the things that was around me. So like I'm seeing the things around me like break down to a point where I wasn't really appreciating the things that was around me because I was so focused on the things in the future. So then it was taking me out of the current. And everybody's in their heads all day. Most people are like on autopilot. Most people are just like sitting there like
in the Matrix.
I ain't gonna go with that, but I ain't going Matrix now. We ain't talking about that. It comes down to most people. They're just going through their day to day, just focused on just doing their job. They just go to work and they go home and then they complain about everything and then they just do the whole thing over again. It's a constant repetitive cycle.
The Matrix.
That's what people just end up going into. So I would just tell myself to just not be on that autopilot program.
The Matrix.
And not to focus on the circumstances that's going on around me and more so focus on the ideas that I had going on. And still
basically what he's trying to say is that he's only here to get paid, that he doesn't want he doesn't want the feds to come in here and raid him. The Matrix will send their soldiers and he doesn't want them to come out here, and we don't want to go to Romanian jail, and we can't expose everything, Some things are in government's control, and then some people are like, they got some mind control going on, They want you to be stuck here in the lower tax brackets and then be okay with their pyramid scheme. But bitch, in a pyramid scheme, whenever you're stuck at the bottom, they never recycle it, so do you really ever move up?
Dude, literally, you fucking get 40%. Like, a person has to pay 40% on their taxes, right? You have to go to work. They teach you how to go to work when you're in school. They don't teach you how to be an entrepreneur and actually make money for yourself. It actually seems like frowned upon. Most businesses fail. 98% of businesses fail within the first 5 years that they're open because people don't have that mindset of being the entrepreneur, what it takes to be on that level, to make money on your own front, to not go to a job and work a 9 to 5. People are literally going to college. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with going to college because I appreciate our doctors and our surgeons and things like that. I appreciate the architects that we have. I work in blue collar. I'm reading blueprints, a $10,000 blueprint that a fucking architect made, and he's a master in his field, that he went to school for that. I totally appreciate that. But at the same time, they're still teaching you to go out and get a job. And when you actually get in that field, when these people get in the field, that's when they start opening up these businesses, because they have to have the belief that they can actually do it and that they can be able to get profit from it in order to do it. It takes a lot because we're stuck in this 9 to 5 programming that, it really just is crazy. And it's funny because 40%, you have to pay 40% if you work, right, for your taxes. And then if you become an entrepreneur, let's say that you open your own business, at the end of the year on that business, you're basically paying 60% for your taxes for that business. And it's crazy because like the richest of the rich, they don't pay taxes at all, but they're also providing jobs for people. Like they're basically spreading the money. So if you think about it on an aspect, like the government really just wants the money to be circulated. They just want it to be circulating, but you have to be able to find a way to get that money for yourself. Let's say that you are paying that 40%. That was the lowest percentage that I said, other than the 0%, but like big businesses are paying on so many other things. Like it kind of makes up for it, but I'm not gonna go into that. But let's say that you're paying that 40%. You're paying the 40%, but then your boss is making majority of whatever you're making. Like, let's say that you're working at Family Dollar. That Family Dollar is going to be probably making like 10 bands to 15 bands a day. Let's say like some crazy number. Let's say there's 15 bands, right? You're working there and you're getting $10 an hour. You make a couple $100, maybe let's say that you work a 10-hour shift. You get less than $100 for that day, but then your business, you're ringing all these people up, and then your boss is getting fucking $15,000. And even if like a couple of people there and he's paying all of them, like, and he's the one that's supplying all of it, he's the one that doesn't have to be there. He's probably doing something else. He's probably chilling with his family. That's something that I wish that I'd known whenever I was younger. And then when I did learn that aspect of what these rich people were doing, I was trying to look like I was rich instead of actually like trying to make ways to give me a foundation to do that, so that the things that I was doing was being sustaining. What do you think about that, bro? I know your back's hurt because these chairs are fucked up.
Yeah.
Just moved into this place, but hey, episode 2 on this motherfucker on the podcast, the Jusalphaa Podcast, the best podcast in the world when it comes down to understanding ourselves and trying to level up the best way that we can. You can't level up without knowing yourself, baby. But, so what do you think about, what would you tell yourself 2 years ago so that you could be able to, like, advance past the money aspect, but just like emotionally? Because like when it comes down to learning about money, you have to know about yourself. So what did you know about yourself that really opened up the field for you to even understand that having a foundation is important in terms of the saving that you were talking about?
I found out that I was spending money too fast, too soon, in the wrong places, and for the wrong reasons. You know, I would definitely say that it's way better to save your money and to save your money and stack up in the fucking dark than sit here being broken than a bitch in the light. You know what I'm saying? You can bring money to eyes and everything, but like you're still broke doing it. You know, you can sit here and waste all your money on designer clothes. You can sit here and waste your money on whatever instead of fucking like, you know, actually sitting down for a couple of years and living the simple life just to like, you know, get way more ahead opposed to sitting here just looking like you're ahead.
He's out for the count, guys. He's out for the count. We've been fucking filming and working for hours, bro. But yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, bro. Like, you can't try to look like you're rich to attract hotter women, because that's what it really comes down to at the end of the day. That's what. Why do you guys buy Lamborghinis? Why do guys buy these things? If there were no women in the world, no guys would be buying this shit. You wouldn't need a Lamborghini. What, do you want to just drive fast? Who are you going to be impressing? Who cares? You'll do that shit probably once a week. Would you even be working hard if there wasn't women in the world? I mean, these are questions that we would never figure that out. We would never figure it out. But if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, you know? But I truly understand the value and my self-worth. And I never had self-worth. I never felt like I had self-worth from before. Like, I felt like I was a shit, but it came from like my external things. So it wasn't like an inner confidence. Within these last 2 years, I feel like I worked on my inner confidence. I really don't need approval from anybody. I don't really care for anybody's opinion. I'm living the way that I want to live. And it's pretty humbling trying to get to that journey when you have to realize that you can't really rely on anybody. Like, nobody's going to save you. The government's not going to save you. Your mom's not going to save you. Your family's not going to save you. Because at the end of the day, even if you do get help from somebody else, they're gonna want something back in return in some type of way, in terms of emotionally, or they're gonna feel like you owe them something. So you gotta get this shit by yourself. You gotta get this shit on your own, the best way that you can. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking some help from somebody, but even when people offer me help, I don't even accept it. Maybe that's a fault of mine, but let's see in a couple of years. I don't know. Maybe it's a fault of mine, but I don't know. But I trust my opinion and I trust my decisions more than I do trying to listen to somebody else because they think that they can have an input on my life. These are just things that happen in the realm of Jusalphaa. And I actually hope that these helped you out a lot. Once again, like and subscribe to the channel. Go follow my Instagram is just hanging, 1S, 2 N's, or Jusalphaa, 1S, 2 A's. And go follow 904 Sosa. I'm gonna have all the links in the description. Whatever. I'll check y'all later. Alpha out!
We live, hey, we live, hey, we live, hey, we live, hey. Caught the 4 and then I turn it to a 5, then I get to 5, then I turn them out. Now I got a dime, I'ma ride to the party, flipping tables, Jeff Hardy, with my white friends, when we saying naughty. As soon as they brought out the wine, I can't feel my face.